Hello, good morning. Today is July 26, 2022. This is video number 11 in my series, Our Courts Are a Joke. And today I'm going to talk about something that's pretty offside, and that's the Hockey Canada situation. Now, again, let me just remind you these videos are not legal advice, just the ramblings of a homeless man screwed over in family court, and just expressing my 55 years of what I've witnessed in our country. So, the situation with Hockey Canada is gaining a lot of attention today. There's been some sexual assaults at I guess World Junior tournaments by the sounds of things, and some investigations. And apparently they have a fund to pay out in cases such as this. Now, so just let me preface this by saying I am a member of Hockey Canada. I'm a ice hockey referee for 28 years, also a registered advanced level one coach, although I haven't coached a team for a number of years now. But anyway, I've played hockey at probably the lowest level of what might be considered, professional. But, I very low level. I made a living at it for 10 years. But, anyway, I don't have too much to claim to fame. But I did have enough. I did have enough of a taste of it to see what goes on out there now, as I expressed in another video about the Me Too movement. So, in hockey, as in all sports, a lot of women throw themselves at hockey players. In hockey, they're called puck bunnies. In the music world, they're called groupies. In different, areas, there's, wrestling or ring rats or something. And I just find really in our society, women just seem to have no accountability for anything. Now, obviously, that doesn't make gang rape, justified at any time, or whatever. But there's no accountability. Women can just act however they want. They can get as drunk as they want, as stupid as they want. They can throw themselves at guys all they want. And when something kind of goes sideways on them, oh well, now we can file a complaint and sue for millions or whatever. And men are hornier than women, and we all know that, right? And men have no protection, from women. Women are clearly smarter than we are when it comes to relationships and whatnot. And, they clearly know how to push our buttons. They know what, gets us going. And, there's no accountability. I mean, all the laws, all the rape shield laws and all this and everything. And, a lot of it, I'm sure, is justifiable and should be. And I'm not trying to protect, guys that go out there with the intention, of doing something, that they shouldn't be, like these date rape drugs and stuff like this. Those people should be thrown away in jail and put them in with the general population and let them deal with them, right? As I made another video, even prisoners don't, they don't look kindly on, especially people that do things with children or rapists or whatever, So, but I just think, the pendulum, I don't know where it should be. But I think it's just swung way too far in women's favor on too many of these things. That guy Kameshi, the CBC radio host, same thing. I mean, I'm not into any of that kind of sex, but here he does something with a woman that okay, maybe that's a little offside, but I don't know. She's calling him the next day and all this and whatever, and sending him flowers, blah blah blah, and and I just laugh at the protesters out in front of the jail, the court. Well, the guy was found not guilty in a court of law. I mean, does that give him back his career? Probably not, right? So it's not about being guilty in the court of law. It's about being guilty in the court of public opinion. And, this is why I'm making these videos. Will I ever have the opportunity to prove in a court of law that a judge screwed me over? Probably not, because you know what? Another judge just doesn't want to hear that. And I had an appeal in divisional court of my judgment from Justice Conway. And, I could have said things. I should have said things. Should have presented some evidence different. But, I really just tried to go out of my way to not say that judge screwed me over. I just tried to say, here's the new evidence that wasn't there. And you know what? It didn't work. It didn't work. In fact, in their judgment in divisional court, they said, well, we think, the trial judge had the best position to view the evidence, right? So, it doesn't work, right? So, but anyway, getting back to what I'm talking about here. So Hockey Canada, I know I broke my ankle 9 years ago at a hockey game. As an official, I was off work for 2 months. Hockey Canada gave me $500, or was it 1,000? One or the other. Anyway, for being off of work for 2 months, it took me a year. It took me a year to get back the money I'd lost. That for being off work for 2 months, and they have millions in an account, to deal with these, lawsuits from sexual assaults or whatever. But, injured officials in their line of job, have virtually nothing, right? So, and, I complained, a few different places, but to no avail, right? So, but anyway, yeah, getting back to this whole situation with Hockey Canada. Now, hockey is the biggest sport in the country, and there's nothing wrong with hockey. It just happens to be that obviously where you have the most amount of people, you're going to have the most amount of problems, right? Just like anything, if it was another sport, it'd be the same thing, right? So, people are talking about the culture of hockey and blah, blah, blah. Well, it's all sports. I'm sure soccer in a soccer mad country, or cricket in a cricket mad country, football in that country, whatever, right? Like, that's obviously where the problems are. And now, there certainly does need to be better oversight and better investigation. The coaches that sexually abuse players and whatnot. And again, that's all sports, gymnastics. I know there was a lot of cases. These girls, 14-year-old girls, being sexually assaulted by their gymnastic coaches and whatnot. And I never let my kids out of my sight. My kids are 6 and 10. And when I'm with them, which is unfortunately a judge only says I'm allowed to be with them a couple of times a week, right? But, I never let them out of my sight for anything like that, right? So trust no one, that's really what it comes down to. But, I just think that this whole situation is gone too far. And, with the Hockey Canada, and yes, it's, there needs to be investigations and people held accountable for what they did. But I'm just saying, women also need to be held accountable. That, I know it doesn't matter how they dressed and how they act and all this, but it does. It does. And it may not mean anything in law, but it does in life. If a girl's wearing a skirt that, with 2 more cheeks to puff and a little more hair to comb, and acting like a slut, and then getting too drunk, well, you know what? If the guys are drunk and the girls are drunk, bad things are going to happen. I quit drinking 31 years ago, right? Because and I see it today that, like, you put yourself in a bad position, bad things are going to happen. And, what I'm saying may be really offside right now to a lot of people, but that's okay. Because I want to stir the pot and get a little controversy, because somebody has to say things that need to be said. And that's really been the problem, I think, in our society, is there's no opposing viewpoint on anything anymore. There's cancel culture. You can't say what the other opinion is or whatever, it's just toe the line or that's it. Right. And this is wrong. You know what? We need to be able to hear voices. Right? This is a free and democratic country, and we need to be able to say what we want to say. And if you don't like it, too bad, right? Listen to somebody else. So anyway, with that, I can be reached at ourcourtsareajoke@gmail.com. These videos are not legal advice. Please don't take it that way. But you know what? If you're a man that's been screwed in family court, reach out to me. We need to gather our forces together and start fighting back, because it really is crazy. Thank you.